So recently I've been thinking a lot about the future of Marvel and DC, and that's primarily because in the last few weeks, we had Marvel out here announcing the new X-Men cast for the new X-Men movie. We had the two new trailers for Avengers Doomsday, both of which have been freaking awesome by the way. Some other news for Avengers Doomsday, we had Spider-Man Brand New Day just breaking all these records. And then there's DC announcing new castings for the Jimmy Olsen show. And I kind of just want to take a look at both of their futures and like what's going to be happening in the next few years with them, because I just think they're both in like such different positions right now, and I think it's very interesting. Also, just to clear this up, I don't really lean more towards Marvel or DC. I kind of just like them both equally, and to me it's more so about the superheroes themselves, more so than like, you know, the fandom of Marvel or the fandom of DC. There's some superheroes I really love from DC, and there's some superheroes I really love from Marvel, and to me it's just like when there's a new movie or show coming out, it's less so to me about like, is it Marvel or is it DC? I just kind of look at the superhero and see what kind of story they're going to be telling there. That's kind of my approach to it. So I'm not really being biased towards one or the other. I think last year in 2025 was kind of just like the best time to be a Marvel and DC fan, specifically in July, where we had the Superman movie coming out and the Fantastic Four movie coming out the same month, like what, 2 or 3 weeks apart. I just feel like that was such a good time to be a superhero fan. I don't know, I felt like there was a lot of like coming together of the fandoms where it wasn't like one is better than the other. They were just, I think, really good. And obviously you had your preference, and personally I kind of preferred Superman. I still do, but I think they were both really great movies. If both Marvel and DC have a good movie coming out, you can have like this coming together of the fandoms. And that was just a really good time, man. Like, that was fun. And I was really hoping that same thing would happen this year with Supergirl and Spider-Man Brand New Day. They didn't come out the same month, but they came out like a month apart, so I thought we might be having something similar going on this year. Unfortunately, we didn't. I think this year was just a case of like, yeah, it's kind of obvious one is better than the other one, and Spider-Man Brand New Day was the better one, where Supergirl's kind of meh. Although I gotta say, if you combine their box office numbers, together they did make over $2 billion. I definitely think one of them contributed a little bit more than the other, but they both contributed something. Looking at the rest of this year though, so we just had the first episode for Lanterns come out. Lanterns is a show that originally I was very excited for, but then some other news was coming out about it, and it was just like, it was kind of looking to not be exactly what I wanted from the Green Lanterns, but first episode dropped. I really liked it. I thought it was really good, and it has me so intrigued for the rest of the season, so I'm definitely very excited for that. Then in September, we have the Wolverine game coming out. That's looking to be so freaking good. I'm very excited to play that. It's also made by Insomniac, who made the Spider-Man games, which I loved, so I have no reason to believe this won't be just as awesome as those games. Then we have Vision Quest coming out, which I'm just not excited for Vision Quest. I never really was from the day that it was announced. And they just put out the first trailer for it, and I gotta say, it was just like so whatever to me. Like, I guess they're trying to make it look a little bit intriguing, but I'm just not like, I'm just watching that trailer, I'm just like I'm so whatever about it. Like, I was maybe getting a little bit more excited for it because of some of the stuff we were hearing, and then especially Ultron being in this, I was like, okay, that might be pretty cool. And we saw Ultron in there for a second, but then he goes into human form. Definitely was not the highlight of the trailer, but I gotta say, the way like James Spader has like his beard like coming out like this to match like Ultron's like, I don't know, disc thingies, that was, I actually think that was kind of cool. And then you also have these other AIs that are also gonna be in human form. I'm just like why? You know, like, it's weird. Then we have Clayface coming out. Another one that I'm not like super excited about, but I gotta say the trailers have been pretty good for that one. And I think I'm more so just hung up on the fact that this is the next like DCU project that we're getting. And it's weird, but just looking at this movie in of itself, it actually looks pretty sweet. And I'm just hoping that it's gonna deliver some really like awesome gore and just like be the thrilling to watch. Like, there's definitely reasons to be excited for it, and I feel like it's a smart idea taking this character and putting him in this horror like thriller something setting. I think the closer I get to it, the more I'm getting excited for it. But then in December, we do have the big guns coming out, Avengers Doomsday. This movie is just looking to be insane. I mean, like I said, the trailers have been just on a whole nother level. Doctor Doom, just the aura of this dude, like, holy shit, like, it's unmatched. And then you have that scene at the end in the second trailer where it's like Thor coming at him with Stormbreaker and saying like, you beg for hell long before I grant, and then Doom is like, hell answers to me, for I am Doom. Like, that is so freaking cool. And I mean, obviously, Avengers Doomsday, we're also gonna be getting Avengers Secret Wars, which I just feel like that movie is gonna be even more insane than Doomsday. Depending on how good Doomsday will be, that's, they're gonna be like the defining factor of how excited you actually get for Avengers Secret Wars. But I think Avengers Doomsday is gonna be awesome. Like, I don't see a world where it's just not. So honestly, this year, it's a little bit 50-50, especially now that we already had Spider-Man out of the way, because I feel like Spider-Man was really boosting Marvel forward this year in general. Now that we got that out of the way, it's kind of 50-50, but I am still very much leaning towards Marvel just because of Avengers Doomsday and just how awesome that movie is looking. But Lanterns does also have me a little bit intrigued. Some other stuff that we found out more on the negative side is that Wonder Man was canceled, which just was honestly so annoying because Wonder Man was so freaking good. And if I'm being honest, if they announced that Wonder Man wasn't going to be coming back after season 1, it probably wouldn't have hit that much because to some extent, maybe I kind of would have expected that. But because Wonder Man came out, like 2 months later, they announced that season 2 was happening. And then another 2 months later, they canceled the show. It's just like this random ass middle finger. It was just like why? Like, what happened, Also, Blade, I feel like, has been officially canceled now. I don't think they've said that the movie officially got canceled, but Mahershala Ali did walk away from the project. So it's like, yeah, it's probably not happening. Not gonna lie, I had hope for this project, probably a little longer than I should have. I was kind of just telling myself that, like, it's taking a while because they're really trying to get it right. Delusional, probably, I know. Yeah, unfortunately not getting it, and I guess the most we'll ever see of Mahershala Ali's Blade is in Marvel Zombies, where it's not even really voiced by Mahershala Ali. And I guess also that voice cameo he had at the end of Eternal, so... I guess it is what it is, but like I feel like there's other good stuff coming out. Like we're getting a new freaking Ghost Rider movie. That's awesome, man. I did not see that coming, and I'm through the roof excited for that. Ghost Rider is one of my favorite characters. I also really love the Nick Cage movies. I love his appearance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like I love Ghost Rider. He's such a cool character. I really hope they go with the Johnny Blaze version. I feel like they kind of have to. Like, bruh, the Nick Cage movies, those came out like almost 20 years ago. Like, you're fine. You really don't have to go with Danny Ketch. Ryan Gosling, man, I've been really digging Ryan Gosling the last few years. Even this year of Project Hail Mary, he was so good in that movie. And that movie was also so good in of itself. Sean Levy directing it. I've seen that people weren't the most happy with it. I don't really get why. I feel like Sean Levy is a really sick director. I mean, Free Guy I thought was really good. He made this movie with Hugh Jackman called Real Steel a few years ago. That movie is so good. Deadpool Wolverine I think is a blast. I think he makes good stuff, and honestly, I feel like he'll do a good job with this movie. We also got some news on Black Panther 3. Gotta be honest, not the craziest Black Panther person. I'm not really the most excited for Black Panther 3, but I guess we're now finally getting a new T'Challa, kind of. It's not like a recasting, it's gonna be T'Challa's son that we saw at the end of Black Panther 2. This trilogy is just all over the place. I mean, you have the first Black Panther movie coming out in the Infinity Saga with, Black Panther, T'Challa. Then the Multiverse Saga, we got Wakanda Forever with Shuri as the main Black Panther. And now in the next saga, very likely the Mutant Saga, we're gonna be getting T'Challa Jr. as Black Panther. It's just, this trilogy has been very much so spread out in each of these sagas. So yeah, when it comes to the movie side of things, Marvel I feel like does have their shit together. And I mean from the TV show side of things, I would also say they kind of have their shit together just for the fact that they're not really making them anymore. I mean, Vision Quest is coming out, we're gonna be getting Daredevil Born Again Season 3. And then after that, we don't really have any more live action shows coming out because it does feel like they're really trying to slow down on them. And even after Daredevil Born Again Season 3, we don't really have any news about Season 4 right now. And that's also going to be coming out probably around March of 2027. So I feel like by now we would have known about Season 4. And DC, when it comes to the movies, they have Man of Tomorrow coming out next year, which I'm so unbelievably excited for. And also not too long ago, they announced that Blue Beetle was going to be in the movie, which that's freaking awesome. I've been kind of waiting for some Blue Beetle news ever since this movie came out. We got the news of the animated show, but like, we've barely gotten any updates on that, so who knows when and if that's coming out, but that's really exciting. I'm really loving the scale of this movie and it being like almost like a mini Justice League movie, so that's definitely up there as far as excitement goes. But then other than that, it's like, there's the Batman Part 2 coming out, which I am pretty excited for, but I gotta be honest, I kind of lost interest in the Matt Reeves version of the Batman. Maybe because it's been so long, I don't know. Maybe when the movie comes out, my attitude will change towards it, but right now I'm just kind of whatever about it. And if anything, I'm kind of more excited for DCU stuff, so this movie is definitely not really doing it for me. I'm more excited for the Brave and the Bold Batman, but like, even that one, we haven't really heard much of anything about it in the last like the 3.5 years since it's been announced, and it's definitely not going to come out before the Batman Part 2, and the Batman Part 2 is already coming out in 2028, so it's still going to be a bunch more years before we get the Brave and the Bold. There's Dynamic Duo coming out, which the idea of that movie I am really excited for, but it's just the fact we don't really know that much about it yet. Like, I'm curious to see, like, what's the story gonna be, how's it gonna look, because it's like gonna be like this very unique mix of like puppetry and CGI and stuff. So there's definitely potential, but at the moment I just can't say I'm that through the roof excited for it. And then the other movies that we know are happening haven't really gotten updates in a while, so those aren't also top of the line excitement. If anything, one of the movies I'm more excited for with DC is Constantine 2 of Keanu Reeves, which probably isn't happening, but it hasn't been officially canceled. I feel like if that's one of the movies I'm more excited for right now, probably not the best sign. We've had some cancellations happen recently with like Waller, which I wasn't really surprised about that. I'm actually surprised that it wasn't canceled earlier. At one point that was going to come out before Peacemaker Season 2. It was going to be like this in-between of Seasons 1 and 2 of Peacemaker. Peacemaker Season 2 came out about a year ago now, so yeah, not surprised there. Yeah, I should probably rephrase. They haven't, I guess, been canceled, but like, they're not like a priority anymore, so like, they're still happening, but they're not being worked on. Code word for, I guess, canceled. That's kind of weird how that works, but I think they're just not going to be happening anymore. Paradise Lost, don't really care about that. The one show that hasn't been canceled is Booster Gold, but like they're gonna like get a whole new team now to do that show, because I guess one of the previous pitches that they got, they just weren't crazy about. Also, speaking of pitches, there have been pitches for a Poison Ivy and Catwoman show, but DC passed on those. Probably for the better, if I'm being honest. DC is honestly in just such a weird place right now, where I feel like Marvel was in a weird place for a few years, but I feel like now they're getting their shit together. DC looked like they were gonna get their shit together when James Gunn was gonna take over, but right now it's looking odd, to say the least. Also, Supergirl coming out and that being kind of mad definitely didn't help. When it comes to the things that I can say I'm excited for and I know I'll get to see in the next few years, it's really just the rest of Lanterns, which are only on episode 1, so it could easily fall off. I hope it does, and I don't think it will. It does actually look like it's going to be really good. May of Tomorrow and Creature Commando Season 2 is kind of it, if I'm being honest. Maybe the Batman Part 2. And continuing on the topic of Marvel getting their shit together, they also have this, like, sometimes disadvantage and sometimes advantage. And that thing being Sony, because a few years ago they probably wouldn't be the thing that made Marvel's future look brighter, things like Kraven, Madam Web, but right now they are kind of boosting Marvel's future and making it brighter, because next year we have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out, which that movie is definitely going to be so freaking good. The last two have been amazing, and it's just looking to be a great trilogy. We also have this Venom animated movie that I'm really excited for. We have this Spider-Punk animated movie coming out. Just kind of feels like Sony is finally doing what they should be doing with Spider-Man, and also with the Spider-Noir show coming out and that show being really good. It hasn't currently been confirmed for a season 2, and it's kind of scaring me because the Spider-Noir came out like 2 or 3 months ago, but I'm hopeful and I feel like it probably will get a season 2, so that's definitely gonna be awesome. And yeah, Sony right now with Spider-Man is just kind of making Marvel's future look brighter. And I mean, also on the topic of Spider-Man, we have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2 coming out in January. I'm so excited for that because they're doing a lot of interesting things in that second season. They also set up a lot of interesting things in the first season, so that's gonna be awesome. Obviously, Marvel's Spider-Man 3, The Game, that's gonna be coming out sometime in the next few years, and I definitely think that's gonna be awesome. With DC on the animation side of things, I'm excited for Creature Commando Season 2, but other than that, like, I'm kind of excited for the My Adventures with Green Lantern show because I just love Green Lantern. I want to see more Green Lantern, but not the craziest person about My Adventures with Superman. I'm still yet to see Season 3, so maybe that'll change my mind, but the first 2 seasons they've been pretty good, but it's just not like a show I'm like super crazy about. And who knows if that's even gonna get a Season 4, because apparently there's like confusion as to whether it will or not, which I mean, hopefully it does, because I know there's a lot of fans of that show. So yeah, overall, I gotta say, like, even though I'm rooting for both of them to succeed, and they both have things that I'm excited for, right now Marvel's future is just looking a little bit brighter. And I mean, I didn't even mention Tom Holland's Spider-Man 5 and 6. Like, I talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day, but like, we all know he's gonna be definitely getting another trilogy. While nothing has been announced yet, a Spider-Man 5 and a Spider-Man 6 with Tom Holland, that's gonna be happening eventually. I will say the one area that I will give the dub to DC is the comics right now, and that's definitely also another important factor in here, but I just haven't really been keeping up with comics that much in the last few years. I'm not proud of it, and I definitely want to get back into it and, like, pay attention to what's happening, what's coming out. So right now I can't even really speak on it that much, but I know that DC is killing it with the Absolute run, and Marvel recently had to cancel their Ultimates run because I don't even know why. I'm guessing it just wasn't doing that well. So DC definitely has the dub when it comes to comics, so that's, I guess, pretty sick too. And I still haven't read like any of the Absolute comics, but I definitely want to eventually. Specifically like the Absolute Batman, because I heard that was awesome. And I really want to read Absolute Flash, just because I love Flash. And this is something that always changes. New things can come out and be good or be be bad on either side, and it could get you more or less excited for the things that are coming up next from each of them. New things could get announced. Like, it always changes, but just as of right now, as of 2026, specifically actually August 2026, I am leaning more towards Marvel's future looking brighter.